Welcome to the Embodied Resilience podcast, where we explore the intersection of trauma-informed yoga, emotional and mental health, nervous system regulation, and the ancient wisdom of Chinese meridians. I'm Liz, a trauma-specialized yoga educator and space holder. In each episode, we will dive into practices, stories, and conversations that help you to return to your body, navigate life with more awareness, and support others with integrity and depth. Whether you're a yoga teacher, a student, or seeker, this space is for you. Hello and welcome to this new episode on my online self-paced, trauma-informed Yin Yoga and Chinese Meridians course and all you need to know about this offering. There is a certain point many people reach in their relationship with Yin Yoga where the practice starts to bring up new or different questions. At first, it can feel quite subtle. You are practicing regularly, maybe teaching already, and you know Yin Yoga does something other yoga styles don't quite touch. It slows you down. It opens space. It brings you into contact with parts of yourself that are usually easier to bypass. And yet, at the same time, you might notice that some classes leave you feeling strangely depleted, emotionally overwhelmed, or unsettled without really knowing why. For a long time, I experienced this myself, both as a student and as a teacher. I loved Yin Yoga deeply, but I could sense that simply holding poses and staying still wasn't the full picture. There were layers moving underneath the surface, emotional, energetic, nervous system responses that weren't being named or held with enough care. And without that understanding, I was also often holding space from my own depletion, thinking that self-sacrifice was just part of being a good teacher. What I have come to see over the years is that Yin Yoga is not automatically regulating. Stillness is not automatically safe. And slowing down, especially for people who are sensitive, empathetic, or used to being the ones who hold everything together, can activate the nervous system just as much as it can soothe it. This is one of the biggest misunderstandings I see in the Yin Yoga world. People assume that because a practice is slow, it must be safe and nourishing. But without nervous system awareness, stillness can easily turn into endurance, disassociation, or quiet overwhelm. Teachers can end up absorbing what's happening in the room. Practitioners can end up blaming themselves when emotions surface and don't resolve. This is the gap my self-paced online Yin Yoga teacher training was created to fill. Not to add more information, not to make Yin Yoga more complicated, but to bring context, language, and safety to something that is already powerful, yet often held without enough understanding of how the nervous system, emotions, and the body are actually working together. At the heart of this training is my integrated signature approach, the Meridian-Emotion-Nervous System Yoga Method. It evolved out of years of teaching, studying, burning out, reorienting, and listening more closely to what bodies were actually communicating in stillness. In this work, the Meridian system isn't just an abstract map from traditional Chinese medicine. It becomes a way of understanding how emotional patterns live in the body. Emotions aren't treated as problems to be fixed or released, but as physical impulses that need space, safety, and awareness to move through. And the nervous system becomes the translator, constantly assessing whether it is safe to soften or whether protection is still needed. When you start to see Yin Yoga through this approach, the practice changes. Teaching changes. Even the way you relate to yourself changes. Many people come into this training thinking they want to learn how to teach better Yin Yoga classes. And they do. But what often surprises them is how much their own inner landscape shifts in the process. They become more attuned to themselves, less reactive, less effortful in how they hold space, kinder to themselves. They stop trying to get it right and start trusting their capacity to sense what's needed in the moment. This isn't just about perfect sequencing or saying the right words. It's about learning how to stay present when something real is happening, in your own body first, and then with others. It's about understanding your nervous system well enough that you are no longer teaching or practicing from a nervous system dysregulation. Because when you are regulated, you don't have to perform presence. You are presence. And people can feel that. The self-paced nature of this course is, of course, intentional. Facilitating this training live for years, I came to the realization that a 10 days intense immersion course does not suit everyone's nervous system. And while the live courses are also amazing, people coming together, evolving together, experiencing together in a beautiful island surrounding, I often see that such immersion can be also overwhelming to the nervous system of some students. I also understand that not everyone can travel to Southeast Asia for this course. So for a long time, I have been feeling the call to make this knowledge available for those who cannot just drop their busy lives for a getaway or just simply prefer to absorb and integrate new knowledge at their own pace. The nervous system needs time to integrate, to feel, to make meaning. You have lifetime access to all the materials, guided practices, reflections, and our community, along with regular live Q&A sessions where we meet and explore questions and topics together. You have lifetime access to the material, guided practices, reflections, and our community, along with regular live Q&A sessions where we meet and explore questions and topics together. So even in the online course, you are not alone and learning in isolation, but you have a real-time. So even in the online course, you are not alone and learning in isolation, but you have real-time connection to a community and also to myself. Some people take this training because they want to teach. Others come because they want to understand themselves better. Both are welcome. What matters is not where you plan to go with it, but the openness you bring to the process. If you have been feeling that Yin Yoga means more than what you have been taught so far, if you have sensed that there is depth, but haven't quite found a language or structure to hold it safely, this training was created with you in mind. Enrollment for the self-paced online course is currently open, and if you are craving a full immersion and embodiment, you are also, of course, welcome to join me in Thailand for the in-person course. If neither feels right yet, that's also okay. You can begin exploring my free offerings, my Yin Yoga Reset, my Trauma Awareness webinar, or my ebook, and simply see how your nervous system responds to these. This work is not about pushing yourself into another certification or identity. It's about learning how to stay with what is already there in a way that is honest, resourced, and sustainable. I'm going to share the links to my courses and my free offerings in the description. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I see you in the next one.